This video is going to be on how I grow my corals. What are the key things for good coral growth? This Pikachu frag was brought a year ago. This is it at 6 months. And this is it now. The new growth has made it look a lot more yellow. I'm really enjoying this part of the reef tank. This is my high-end collection of Acropora corals. Look at the polyp extension I'm getting on my Pikachu here. This is one of the earliest pictures I could find of my rainbow loom. This was exactly 1 year ago, so this is 1 year growth between these two photos here. And this is the golden jaw dropper. This is 4 years growth. Okay, now I'm going to share with you some of my tips. Lighting first. Okay, what you want to do here is set your lights up, get them to a good par, get a good schedule, something like AB+, that's proven, and then just leave them. One of the worst things you can do for coral growth is keep changing your lights. Here is my lighting schedule. I've been using this for a while now. This is AB+, and I'm running at about 55%. I have a quick ramp up in the morning, and then it's high intensity for 4 hours, and then it slowly ramps down throughout the day. The next important thing to get right is flow. On this tank here, this is 5 foot by 2 foot by 2 foot, and I've only got 2 MP40s on here, and I've had them running on here for over 5 years now. One of the best things about these pumps are the random flow that you can create from this. I'll show you my schedule in a second. They also move a lot of water for 2 pumps. This is my schedule that I'm using. It's a lot of random flow. So I've got the reef crest, and then I've got the gyra. So one pump's on while the other pump's off, and it creates a real random flow. But there's no wave, it's just going one way and then the other. Looking at the polyps here, you can see them moving. You can see them moving one way and then the other way. Once we get up to the PC rainbow, you can see it a lot clearer. And you can see how much flow is being created by these 2 pumps. This is still quite early in the morning. The lights have been on for about 20 minutes. And you can see the polyp extension that I'm getting here. The corals at the moment are very happy, so I'm trying not to do much. I'm trying to keep the tank as stable as I can at this point. Because once you get the corals growing and looking like this is the key, is you want to now try and keep everything as stable as you can. And that is one of the main keys to success of growing your corals faster. Okay, this is a good time to show you my aquascape. You can see there's lots of holes, there's lots of caves that the flow can go underneath. And not having a sand bed, the flow just bounces off the glass and up into the tank, and it keeps the flow going underneath the corals. Really helps keep the whole colony healthy. It also helps stop detritus forming on the glass. It keeps it suspended and will send it over the overflow. This is a good time to show you my par. So I'm getting about 350 par on the top where my nice corals are, and then I'm getting about 200 par on the bottom. You can see here, this is my high-end Acropora corals that I'm keeping at the top here. So these are sitting at about 350 par, and it'd be quite good to see how much growth I can get in 3 months, 6 months and a year. So if you keep watching these videos, then you'll see the journey and the growth of these corals. Looking back over my previous videos, you can definitely see that my polyp extension has improved. Okay, another major key for growth success is keeping stable parameters. And we're talking about salinity, alkalinity, calcium, and magnesium. The easiest way to keep all of these stables is an auto top up that is dosing RO water to your tank, so it's keeping your salinity stable, and also a two-part dosing solution. It's better just to keep it simple, and I find the easiest for me to control my alkalinity, calcium, and magnesium is a two-part dosing solution. And I'm just dosing equal parts. So I'm dosing about 75 mils of one and 75 mils of the other, and it's keeping my parameters bang on. You can't really get easier than that. And I'm trying to dose as many times a day so it doesn't fluctuate. Temperature and pH you need to keep stable as well. I've set my temperature for about 25 degrees and it stays around there. This two-part solution that I'm using also has a pH buffer, so it's keeping my pH high, which is also key for Aquapora. Okay, let's talk about nutrients then. So what we're talking about here is feeding the corals as well. I believe that the fish do enough of the feeding of the corals. If you've got a good fish stock and you're feeding them every day, then I think that will be enough to support your corals. You should only be really feeding your corals daily if you have a very small fish stock. So you've literally got one fish, then yeah, you would need to feed your corals things like amino acids and coral foods. But I think when I feed my corals amino acids and coral food, I always start getting cyano. I get ugly algae, but that is because my nutrients are quite high. So I've been starting to use amino acids and coral foods a lot less than I was doing before, but I will keep them on hand just in case my nutrients start going low, then I'll start adding the food again. That was me feeding the Celcon, the dry food that I froze earlier. You could see the fish still really like it, especially the copper band. This is the next one. This is another key to success, is water quality. The water going into your tank needs to be the best water that you can provide for it. The water coming into my house is around 250 and I can get it down to 0 going through this RO unit. Okay, this is important because we use this water for auto top-ups, so this water is going directly into your tank. I'm also back to doing 10% water changes weekly. I just think it helps reduce my nutrients and it keeps everything healthy in the tank. Everything always looks better after a water change, and it also gives me the chance to siphon out any detritus. You can see here my TDS is only going down to 1, and this is not good enough for me, so I'm going to have to change my DI resin. And this is how I grow my corals in my tank. This is basically the basics. If you can master this and do this well, then you can grow corals and you'll be able to grow them fast. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Please like and subscribe.